Hey, English 112, Miss Brewer here for your week 9 lecture video. So we are back on track for March 23rd. And you guys have some updated due dates, I think, here. So let's just go over those really quick. I think I've already talked about it a little bit, so just kind of update. I updated your due dates for your peer edits. So your peer edit is due to the forum by March 24th. Your peer edit is due to me in Moodle by March 25th, Wednesday, March 25th. The final draft of your comparative analysis is due to me by Wednesday, March 25th. And the net tutor feedback that you received is due by March 25th. So go ahead and get that stuff submitted. Those things are things you've been working on for quite a while. So the pushed back due date doesn't need to be very long because you should be pretty much done at this point anyway. And then Journal 7, go ahead and get that submitted as soon as you can. And we're gonna move into now this week. So for March 23rd to the 29th, it's time for us to move into APA format. So once you finish your comparative analysis, we are done with MLA format, and we will be in APA format for the remainder of the semester. So just to kind of go over some basics on APA, if you go into Moodle and you can open up APA style assignment details. I'm going to go over with you guys what your assignment actually is. So you've already read Othello, and as you read Othello, you picked out some themes for your comparative analysis essay. I want you to take the theme that you looked at for your comparative analysis essay, and I want you to locate or think of a social issue that we deal with today that relates to that theme, okay? So let's say you looked at the theme of jealousy, right, in Othello. You can look at a lot of different social issues. You could look at mental health. You can look into relationships. You could look into like kind of almost peer pressure or those types of things. So any of those types of social issues you could look into. If you looked at the role of women in Othello, then obviously you could look into feminist issues, the gender wage gap, the images and social media and whatever that put on women for their looks. If you looked at obviously like Othello's race or anything like that, then your social issues would fall under like racism, but you would have to be more specific than just racism. You might talk about racism in the criminal justice system, or you might talk about racism in corporate America, or anything like that. So that's what you're looking at when you're picking your social issue that you're going to research. Try to pick something that you're going to be interested in, because you're going to be working with this social issue for the rest of the semester. After you choose a social issue, or when you choose your social issue, you're going to research your social issue, and you're going to look for scholarly articles and information on your social issue. And you're going to utilize the library database, and most likely NC Live, and that is where you will live, because you can only use scholarly articles and the database for this research. You will complete an annotated bibliography of your research, and then you will turn your annotated bibliography with those articles into a literature review. After you've completed those two things, then you will locate a social justice organization that relates to your social issue. So let's say I was choosing to do something on the gender wage gap, then I would locate some social justice organization that works with that. And I provide you with a link that gives lots of different social justice organizations, and you can also Google search them. So this is later on down the line for the class. So what we're going to look at right now is your social issue selection and your annotated bibliography. So that's where we are for now. So what I want you to click on next is the American Psychological Association lecture. And this just tells you some differences when it comes to APA style. So MLA style and APA style are similar in font size, okay? You're still using Times New Roman, 12-point font. You still have double space. You still have 1-inch margins, all of those things. But everything else in regard to page design and documentation of your research, everything else is gonna be different, okay? So APA, American Psychological Association, we're looking at science type things. So dates are very important. So you'll see that you're gonna include a lot more date information when you cite in text, and you're gonna include a lot more date information on the works cited page. So you'll see how that's different. And then of course your format. So page design in this lecture just tells you how things are a little bit different here. Unlike MLA, in APA you will use a title page. Your title page will have a running head on the first page, and it will say the words running head, colon, and then the title, a shortened title, and a page number. And then as you go about a third of the way down on the page, you will put your title, you will put your name, and you will put the university, which we are obviously Lenore Community College, and that is on your title page. That's what goes there. It's important to note that for APA format, you will need to utilize a different first page in your header, because your second page, you will get rid of the words running head, and it'll just be the title of your paper and the page number. And I do have a video that shows you how to do that here in Moodle, okay? So that is different. The other thing that's really different in regard to page design, especially when it comes to your annotated bibliography, is you are required to include an abstract. Your abstract is on the second page, and it's about 100 to 150 words. It's actually the last thing that you write, because you should do all of your annotations for the annotated bib, and then your abstract should essentially cover the main ideas that your articles are covering. Your in-text citations are gonna be totally different, okay? So when you write your literature review and you do your in-text citations, you're gonna have the author last name, then you're gonna have the year, and then you're gonna have P period and the page number. So it's a lot more information inside of your parentheses, so that is different. And of course, your citations at the end will be different as well. In MLA format, you had a works cited page at the end. In APA format, you have a reference page at the end. This hyperlink that's at the bottom of this course lecture is Purdue OWL General APA format. Please utilize this when you're writing anything, because it will help you just make sure that you're formatting things properly. So I'm coming out of that course lecture, going back into the week. And I'm gonna go ahead and move on down. And then you can see, like, right underneath our APA lecture, there's a video there to tell you how to do your header. So pay attention to that. This week, you're gonna be working on an annotated bibliography. You guys should have written an annotated bibliography in your English 111 class in MLA format. The annotation is the same in APA format. What's different is that you will have a title page and you will have an abstract. And obviously the citations will be APA style instead of MLA style. But your annotation should remain the same, and your annotation has 3 parts. It has a summary of the source, it identifies how the source will be used for research, and it evaluates the credibility of your source. So that's what you're looking for in your annotation. Your annotation should be no more than 3 to 6 sentences long, 2 sentences for a summary, 1 sentence for identifying how it will be used in your paper, and 1 sentence that evaluates the credibility. So essentially, if the article is using research or scientific theories or statistics or data or anything like that, that's how I know that it's a credible article, okay? So just kind of go through so you make sure that your annotated bibliography includes the title page, it includes the abstract, and you have 7 articles with 7 annotations. Okay, going back into this week. If you look at questions and answers for the annotated bibliography, it just tells you, is the annotated bibliography, the sources that I find for this, the same sources that I'm going to use for my literature review? Yes. So the research that you're doing for your annotated bib, you are going to use those same articles when we write our literature review in about 2 weeks. So make sure that you Make sure that you really read those articles, you annotate them, you have a very strong understanding of what those articles are saying. You'll need to know that for your literature review, so you might as well knock it out and do it now. Do you need to include the title page? Yes. Do you need to include an abstract? Yes. What is included in the annotation? All right, so you're looking for the summary, the evaluation, and the identification, and we're looking for themes here. So in your abstract, what major things are you seeing that pop up in all these different articles, okay? And anywhere from 3 to 6 sentences is appropriate for your annotation. Okay, I'm going back into this week, and I'm scrolling on down. I give you a student example of an APA annotated bibliography. Review this, please, okay? It's really important that you see what things should look like. This was a really great annotated bibliography that was done for my class. And so you can see there's a title page. On the second page is an abstract. And then underneath you can see how the headers change. You can see that it says annotated bibliography at the top of the third page, and then you start with your annotation, with your citations and your annotations. So you can see great examples of an annotation that summarizes, evaluates, and identifies how the article is going to be used. You'll see that when you do your hanging indentation for your citation, you keep the hanging indentation throughout the annotation. You don't come back out until your next citation, so that's really important. You're still going in alphabetical order, just like an MLA format for your works cited page and your annotated bibliography. I'm clicking back into Moodle now, if it will move quickly. Okay, so you can definitely review that student example. Underneath the student example, you have the library databases link. So that's where you're gonna locate all 7 articles that are required, okay? So you guys have until next Sunday, April 5th, to complete this. The only thing that's due this Sunday is the social issue selection. So which social issue are you going to do? And I do want you to include 2 citations for articles that you found. So make sure you include 2 citations. You don't have to do the annotation, but 2 citations for articles that you found. Excuse me. And so that's what's due Sunday. So you're gonna, this week, essentially finish up what we had worked on after we had that week break, turn in your stuff from your comparative analysis, and you're gonna go ahead and start your research in APA format, and we're gonna work on these annotated bibliographies. Your total annotated bibliography will be due next Sunday, April 5th. If you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email, and I will get back up with you. I'll check in with you guys next week.